Welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and be doing this event, and thank you for an overwhelming response. We had over 200 people registered for this event, and generally how it is with the events, there's always a dropout, and I see almost around 100, probably over 100 people in the room, and it's a great response. So this is the third edition of the Adobe TechCom Roadshow in Canada, and we have been doing these roadshows starting 2017 in three cities: Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. And this year, for the first time, we've expanded it to Waterloo. So we basically arrived in Canada, me and Vivek from India. We arrived in Canada on 11th. We did an event in Montreal, traveled to Ottawa, did an event in Ottawa on 13th, had a couple of days of break, then to Waterloo, and finally we are here. This is the biggest turnout that we have had for this event, and I am really thankful to all of you. Okay, let me move along. So this is a very popular image from a very popular campaign from Adobe. It said that anything is not about the product, it's about the experience. So if you are using or buying a shoe, it's not about the product itself, it's about experience. So similarly, my presentation is not a presentation but a story about a business philosophy, which as we go along today's sessions, you'll see the tools and solutions which as we deep dive into them, you'll see that business philosophy being used, and you'll find out more about that. Today we all live in an experience economy. You and me, and as business communicators, we are in an experience economy, and that is why my presentation is about from products to experiences and why you are a part of the customer experience. Some intros. I am Rohit. I work as a senior product marketing manager at Adobe, and I take care of global marketing for the technical communication business. I deal with marketing for Adobe FrameMaker, RoboHelp, XML documentation for Adobe Experience Manager. These are my digital handles. Feel free to connect with me using any of them. I have been in the IT industry for over 10 plus years, and with this team for the last 5 years, and I do global marketing. People buy experiences, not products. Our CEO, Shantanu Narayan, has been saying this for the last 4 to 5 years at every major conference. What does this mean? This means that today, when somebody goes out and buys a product, what that person does is take upon an experience journey, which starts from investigating about the product, getting more information about the product, probably doing a free trial of the product, going out and buying the product itself, and then having an experience of using the product and with customer support. So, as you see, experience or customer experience itself is quite critical. Today, every major organization, every large organization realizes that they are in the customer experience business. But what does customer experience mean? In simple terms, this is a definition from Wikipedia. Customer experience is the product of an interaction between an organization and a customer over a duration of their relationship. So it's not just one instant that is important for customer experience, it's an entire duration, and it's a journey that the customer embarks upon. Let's deep dive into this journey. So it basically goes through various touch points and various phases. You come in contact with a brand or a product, maybe by seeing a billboard advertising, or maybe an advertising on social media or online campaigns. That's your first contact with any brand. If you like the ad, if you like the campaign that you saw, or if it intrigued you, you move along to the next stage and try to find out more. You enter the investigation phase. You seek peer recommendations. You might even go to Google or search more about the product, and maybe even land on the product marketing website. Once you try and assimilate this content, like the content, you try and move towards forming an opinion about the product and entering the decision phase. In that phase, you'll find out more details about the product and its features, and you might seek out more user reviews. Once your opinion is kind of formulated, you move along to the next stage, which is the buying phase, and you seek out to procure the product either through a retail outlet, a physical retail outlet, or probably going online through the website. Once having bought the product, that's another, you move along to the next stage, and that's very critical. You try and use the product, and based on the ease of use and reliability, you have a user experience which can be good or bad, and you might even face some issues. So in case you face more issues, you might try and contact customer support, and that kind of closes the loop of this journey where you started from investigating and then finally are now trying to contact the customer support facing these issues. So today, customers expect a world-class experience at each one of these touch points because customer experience is cumulative. There is no one single stage which can delight you to an extent that it will lead you to become a proponent of the brand. But what does this happen after all these stages? You either experience buyer remorse, which means that you end up regretting owning the brand, owning the product, or you experience brand loyalty, right? What does brand loyalty mean? That you become a loyal customer of the brand, try and go probably and buy the brand again and again if it's that kind of a product, and you might even turn into a brand evangelist. But there are challenges along this way in giving a world-class customer experience. Because customers expect a consistently satisfying brand experience through all the touch points, marketing, sales, purchase, support, and community support. Let's look at some of these challenges in more detail. As I said, multiple brand touch point means they have cumulative impact on customer experience. What does that mean? That no matter your product is good or not, if your customer support is not good enough, your customer experience is not great. So product can be as good as you want, but if you miss out giving a world-class customer experience at any one stage, it can spoil your overall cumulative CX, right? And that itself will lead to a suboptimal customer experience. So today organizations need to care about each of these touch points. The brand experience itself can be inconsistent, right? You can have an inconsistent experience as you move along these stages, from a content perspective, from a reliability perspective, from various perspectives, right? And that can create a very fuzzy brand experience. You are confused about what the brand means or what the brand wants to convey. Generally, what we are seeing is a lot of inconsistencies because of inconsistency in marketing and technical content, right? Why? Because they operate in content silos, they operate in disconnected worlds. And I'll talk more about this specific thing as I move along in my presentation. And since the marketing and technical content operate in silos and maybe even other content pieces operating in silos, it can lead to a cluttered IT ecosystem because you will have different systems managing each one of these content pieces or each one of these pieces, and that can be a nightmare for CIOs, CSOs and CMOs, right? Dealing with the cluttered IT ecosystem. And there lies the biggest challenge of implementing a holistic CX, because sometimes systems don't speak to each other. So from a technical perspective, it's just not possible to have a unified experience both internally as well as externally. Let's look at some important stat. This is from James Matheson, Head of Search Strategies for IBM. And what James said and his team 74% of business-to-business customers refer to post-sale documentation, typically technical or support documentation, as part of their purchase decision-making cycle. That means that in today's world, post-sale documentation is very, very, very important, right? In our own words, technical communication is marketing communication. In today's experience economy, it is a hidden sales champion. Technical communication and customer support have a significant post-sale impact on brand loyalty and the willingness for long-term investments. But despite of this realization, technical content, support content does not get the attention that it deserves. While you will see that marketing websites, marketing content gives you always a rich experience, the technical content or support content of the same brand will give you a very poor experience, and that creates as I said, an inconsistent experience and leads to a fuzzy brand experience, right? Let's look at some examples. So this is the marketing website. This is a snapshot of the marketing website of CyberSource. CyberSource is one of our customers. It's a Visa company deals in online payments and fraud detection. Right? You see a very nice website with a nice marquee area with the top menu bar, nice brand colors. Everything looks great. Right? You even have the support tab right there on the top. Everything looks set. You have a nice slider going. Let's look how the technical documentation for the same brand looks like. Can you imagine? When I look at it, it seems to be some snapshot from the 90s, right? Right? And this is the state in which they were in before they reached us for our CCMS, which is called XML documentation for Adobe Experience Manager. And this is how their support experience looks today. Okay, and they have a nice page layout with a top marquee, with a nice search bar on the top, easily search content, nicely segmented sections, very nice alignment of the brand color with the brand colors itself. Let's look at another example, and I don't have a before shot. This is another one of our customers, Palo Alto Networks. Palo Alto Networks was one of the first customers of our CCMS, right? And I don't have a before shot, but this is how their website looks today. They have a very dedicated tech docs portal, and it looks really looks like a marketing web page. Really nice content imagery, and they have over 1 million visitors on their website. And the technical documentation team, after having this approach, has become a very central part of their overall organization, right? In fact, even the marketing teams are reaching them for finding out best practices on creating experiences. So you can probably hear them and talking about this in some of the conferences if you attend them. So when corporations want to leverage the power of technical content for marketing and sales, what do they need? They need intelligent content. They need to break down the silos, and they need the content on a single, always connected cloud platform. Intelligent content. What does intelligent content mean? Let's look at a basic explanation of how content intelligence can be defined. On the left hand side, you see unstructured content, and on the right hand side, you see structured content, right? In the unstructured content, you see content which is an unsorted list, right? But there is no intelligence about the content itself. Machine learning algorithms, AI can't really read this and do much with this kind of content. It's unstructured. Probably not by the traditional definition of unstructured content, where even this would be termed as structured. But in today's world, this is probably seen as unstructured content. Whereas on the right hand side, you see that each of the content pieces can be defined, right? You can define first name, last name, state, country, and you can also build in validation rules, right? Like mobile number cannot have characters; it can only have numbers. That kind of validation rules can be built in, and this allows you to kind of become ready for AI ML algorithms to read. So everything is machine readable, and you can do so much more with this content in today's world of AR VR. So if your approach is a structured content authoring approach, you can do so much more with your content. Let's look at another advanced example. So here you see the same warning message coming from the single content source being delivered to 3 different platforms in terms of display. So it's primarily the same warning message with a little bit of difference in the speed. So if you are driving a car, the warning message needs to be different. If you are driving a bike, the warning message needs to be different based on the speed. And if you are running your smartwatch, needs to show something different. So from a single content source, you can build this kind of intelligence where different warning messages are being displayed based on how they are consumed. But are today's technical communicators and their organizations ready for this digital transformation? Let's look at some stats. So we did a survey in 2018 where we surveyed 2,000 plus people, 2,000 plus communicators, primarily technical communicators. And I'll just throw up some interesting stats. So 50% of the audience that we surveyed were already doing structured authoring. So that means over 1,000 people from those surveyed were already doing structured authoring. And out of them, 75% were either doing data or planning to do data, and you can see the split there, right? Data is one of the structured authoring formats. It's an XML-based format managed by an organization known as OSS, and it's primarily used in the software and high-tech industry, and it's a very powerful format. If the room has a lot of technical communicators, they will probably know about it or have heard about it. Let's look at a few more examples. Has anybody heard about GoPro, the brand? You know what it does? So I like that brand a lot. It conveys everything that is contemporary, fresh, enthusiastic, right? It's really today's brand. I think everybody can associate with it, especially millennials, right? And how does it marketing website look? It looks pretty awesome, right? You can see the product out there. You can see a nice imagery about what you can do with that product. It's just the perfect website to capture your attention. Let's look at how the technical content would look like. Any guesses? This is how the technical content looks like. Believe me, you can go out and check it out yourself. This is how the TikTok's page looks like. TikTok content looks like. It's probably a simple PDF, two-page layout with there's no brand colors, there's nothing. So if I see this and that in isolation, I will never be able to associate this with GoPro, right? So let's try and see how we would go about correcting this kind of technical content experience. First thing I'll do is probably write the content in a structured authoring format using a tool. Adobe has a tool called FrameMaker, which is our data editor, so you can do a structured authoring there. So I'll just write content in that so that it allows me to do a much more engaged experience. Just another example. And this is how I'll try to lay out content, right? I'll create a nice help page header on the top, probably with the marquee image, and have some help content on the left hand side to look like this. So I built in the brand imagery right there, right? Now you can start to see, and this is a very basic attempt. Obviously you can do much more, but now you can try and associate this with the brand imagery, the marketing experience itself. And what I'll try and do is, while there is some help content on the left hand side, I'll try and deliver some relevant marketing content on the right hand side while the person is reading a page. Why? Probably let's look at an example. So if you're reading about changing batteries or reading about how to use batteries, there is a good chance that you might be looking to actually procure more batteries, right? So if your content was not intelligent, you would not be able to deliver this kind of a dynamic marketing content on your help page or your help content, right? Only by having a structured, intelligent approach, you can do that. So this is what is a very basic approach on how you can quickly fix that kind of a mess that was there, that what we saw. So by using database intelligent content enriched with metadata and attributes, companies can blend marketing and technical content seamlessly and create a unified customer experience. What's our approach? So I'm kind of summarizing what's our approach. So you have your marketing content, your white papers, videos, website, banners, case studies, and you have your technical content, user manuals, data sheet, knowledge bases, admin guides, right? What you want is a unified experience across this. The problem, your marketing content is typically managed by a web CMS, while your technical content might be managed by a different CMS, typically popularly known as the CCMS altogether, right? Uh, what you want is a unified CMS, and what we have as a solution, and there are other solutions in the market which might have that also, is Adobe Experience Manager. Before we created our CCMS in 2016, Adobe Experience Manager was primarily positioned to handle marketing content, right? A lot of marketers knew about it. It was primarily seen as a web CMS. But when we launched XML documentation for Adobe Experience Manager, what we built into AEM or Experience Manager is a capability to handle structured content, XML-based structured content. And now it is a full-fledged CMS with capabilities to handle technical as well as marketing content. What we have built inside it is a web editor, a review and collaboration mechanism. AEM already had powerful translation workflows. We have some reporting specific to tech docs, and you can publish and reach out to many more through many more channels and formats. At the core of it is Adobe Experience Manager Assets, which is the digital repository, digital asset management DAM repository that we use. So this is our approach for blending marketing and technical content. This is our solution. You'll get to experience AEM in Bernard sessions, and you'll also hear a lot about XML documentation for AEM, aka AEM Docs that we call it. It's still going through branding, that name, right? And Marco will talk about it as the day moves along. I also wanted to share with you another conference that we have. It's a free online conference. So everything we try and bring in more people. So our approach to conferences is always get more people. So it's a free 3-day online conference with over 20 plus speakers and sessions from various organizations and the industry. Right? It's called Adobe Data World. It's from 9 to 11th October. If you have not registered so far, go ahead and register for it. You can it's primarily in the Pacific time, but you can always access those recordings later on. And there are going to be various organizations talking about their experience in creating content strategy and a rich content experience. So yeah, you just need to go to data-world.com and register. Since you already have registered for this conference using attendees and created your Adobe IDs while doing so, I think the experience of registering for this should be pretty easy for you guys. Before we end today's session, I would want all of you to fill a survey which tells us how this event was for you. If you found it useful, if you didn't find it useful, suggestions for improvement, because always there's scope for improvement, right? So just note down this link, and Bernard will put up a QR code also for this, and we can. I would like you to all fill in your experience. I'll close the door because I'll not let anybody leave before they fill the survey. Okay. If after today's sessions you want to reach out to any of us in terms of information, on your notepads that you have, you will see an email ID, techcom@adobe.com, techcom@adobe.com. Most of the brand pages that we have that ID, and if you write an email to that ID regarding any product query around these solutions, we will reach out, we will respond to you within 24 hours notice. That email directly flows into my team, and we take care of resolving your product queries, solutions, queries, etc. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you found some value in this session, and I'm sure you will find the future sessions also pretty engaging. Okay, we are doing Marco. Okay.